Everybody's talked about that. You got to box out and rebound every single possession, and it's going to be a war. It's going to be every possession counts. Can't turn it over, can't give up offensive rebounds, and it's going to be a long 40 minutes.
You guys have been super unselfish this year about who shoots, who plays even. Where's that culture come from? Is that locker room driven? Where's that come from?
Mix of coaching staff and locker room driven. I think we've made it clear all summer, all fall, we want to win a national championship, and we're going to do what it takes. And I think it helps that our best player, Zach, is so unselfish. 2 seconds on the clock, if he's double teamed, he'll kick it out. He's not going to shoot a contested one. And with him leading by example with that, I'd say that's the best thing he does outside of score almost 30 points a game and get almost 20 rebounds a game. His unselfishness in that. He's passed that along to us.
Tennessee, a lot like you guys, have a lot of experienced guys who've kind of been through it in this tournament before. What does that give a team, especially in an era where you don't normally see that? There's a lot of guys moving around, but there's a lot of experience for both these teams when it comes to this time of year.
Yeah, it gives you perspective going in that you have to be locked in or you're going to get blown out. And with guys' experience and how well coached they are and how hard they're going to play, it's going to be a battle for 40 minutes, and there's not going to be many possessions where you can rest.
I think you said, Fletch, that you like seeing social media comments, media narratives. Does that help inspire you or just light a fire a little bit underneath you?
Yeah, I'd say recently I've stopped looking at them more as what's in our locker room is what matters. So, but yeah, during the summer, seeing stuff that you're like, that's pretty idiotic to say. You just got to brush it off and you got to work a little bit harder because come winter time and come March, you're going to have to prove them wrong.
Why do good shooters have to practice shooting so much?
Yeah, a lot of people talk about how much work good shooters put in, how much work Steph Curry and Klay Thompson, all those guys put in. You're not born with that gift. And I think the feeling, going into a game, whether you're going to be on or off, or whether you get into that game, you just got to ease into it a little bit. It's a ridiculous amount of work you got to put in. It's a lot of mental side to it. But ultimately, if you want to be a good shooter, you can't care.
How many shots a day do you take?
Too many.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are you an overworker maybe? Or?
Yeah, that's what I've kind of focused on this year, being more smart about it. Last year, I'd say after long practices, I still wanted to get my shots in, but you got to have your legs to feel good with your shot.
How has this team been able to be so adaptable role by role? One game you have 6 assists, don't shoot a whole bunch. Another game you're asked to score 20, and you're not the only one. Mm-hmm. Just how are you guys as a team that adaptable?
Yeah, I'd say just how well our coaches do before the game. Leading into it, we know how they're going to guard ball screens. We know how they're going to guard Zach in the post. We know how much they're going to pressure. So watching film, seeing what they do, and ultimately, good players adapt. If they're getting pressured, they'll look to move the ball. Nobody's selfish on this team, so I think just feeling out the game. We've done a great job of that. It starts with our point guard, Braden, seeing the floor, seeing how they're guarding us all, and really just picking them apart.
You guys beat Tennessee, but I think there were like 80 free throws in that game.
Yeah.
Does it feel kind of good to get another chance where hopefully you guys get it decided on the court, less than whistles both ways?
Yeah, all season we focus on playing our game. And if they want to foul us, we're going to play our game by shooting free throws and winning. Or if they don't want to foul us, then we're going to play our game by getting out in transition and running and going. So really just adapting to what they do, figuring out. We've seen, like you've seen in all these media interviews, we've seen a lot of different coverages. We've seen a lot of different games. We've won a lot of different games. So however tomorrow is, we're going to have to play our hardest and bring more energy than we have ever brought.